We're just weeks away from Election Day. As part of our commitment to Democracy 2014, we're sitting down with the candidates to help you get to know them before you head to the polls to cast your vote. Chuck Stokes sat down with the 11th Congressional candidate, Dave Trott.
And joining me now for this segment of Democracy 2014 is David Trott. He is the Republican candidate for Michigan's 11th Congressional District. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me on the show, Chuck.
You got through a grueling primary. You came out on top. You unseated an incumbent. Now you want to represent the 11th Congressional District. What is it that you feel the voters should do to be able to put you in office? Why?
Well, I think the voters want the federal government to get out of the way. And, I think my background in business, 30 years in business creating jobs, is a skill set that hopefully the voters believe can be put to good use in Washington. But what I hear mostly is they want the government to get out of the way and let the economy flourish.
Yeah, you have a legal background. If there's one thing we sometimes hear from the public is that there are too many lawyers already on Capitol Hill.
Well, there are plenty of lawyers there. I do have a legal background, but most of my experience has been in businesses outside of the law firm, in the insurance area, and newspapers, and real estate, and technology. So I really have spent most of my last 20 years in business more than law.
Yeah. Some have referred to you as the foreclosure king because of your business. Have you made success in life off the misery of others?
I don't believe so. We've built, I'm proud of the businesses we've built, and, no one wants to foreclose, and it's part of our economy, unfortunately, but no one wants to foreclose, and many of our businesses have nothing to do with mortgages and real estate finance, so I don't believe that's a fair characterization.
All right. What are you hearing as you go about the 11th Congressional District? What is it that those people who might eventually be your constituents, what is it they're telling you they want done the most?
Well, there's a great deal of uncertainty in the business community, particularly small businesses that have been created by the federal government. Uncertainty as it relates to the Affordable Care Act, uncertainty regarding Dodd-Frank and other regulations. And so, again, as I said earlier, many people just want the federal government to stick to what they need to work on, the limited government that's promised to us in our Constitution, and let the private sector and free enterprise work and create jobs.
Do you feel government has gotten too big?
There's no question government's gotten too big. Government, particularly in the last 6 years, is involved in too many aspects of our life and too many businesses. And under the Constitution, it has no role. And then even beyond the Constitution, most of what the federal government gets involved in, they don't do a very good job on.
Health care, you mentioned it just a few seconds ago. If you go to Washington, will you be one of those asking for the repeal of the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare, whichever term you most comfortable with?
Sure. If it came before the House, I would vote to repeal it. I don't know that the Senate's going to take it up. Hopefully we get control of the Senate. I think that Obamacare is an overreach by the federal government, and I can't imagine the bureaucracy that's going to exist in 10 years to administer the Affordable Care Act in Washington. It's going to be probably 10,000 bureaucrats under a single-payer system and controlling 1/6 of our economy. I don't have confidence the federal government can do better than the private sector at all.
On the international front, what area of the world concerns you the most, and what would you do about it if you're in Congress? Can you really do anything about it when you're just one of 400 some odd members of Congress?
Well, certainly the Middle East is of great concern, and ISIS and the void that's been created in the Middle East and allowing terrorists to flourish. I think we have to work hard to defeat ISIS. Certainly if the president calls and asks for my opinion, I'll be happy to give him my thoughts, but I think we need to stand strong. And under this president, I think too many of our allies can't count on us, and too many of our adversaries don't respect us, and that's fundamentally the problem we have on the world stage today.
Mm-hmm. Quick final question. We oftentimes hear people say that they criticize people going to Washington because of pork barrel projects. Will you be involved in that, or will you see it as your job to bring the bacon back home to the people of the 11th Congressional District and the state of Michigan?
Well, the best thing we can do from Washington in terms of the 11th District is find money for our roads. And so to the extent I can work with the administration and in Congress to steer more funds from the Highway Trust Fund to help our roads back in the district, that would be a great priority. I don't believe in earmarks, so I think the decision to do away with earmarks, it's no way to run a government or a business. But to the extent I can help people in the district and projects in the district, that'll be a great concern and focus for me, particularly our roads.
All right, David Trott, thank you for joining us on Democracy 2014. Good luck on the campaign trail. We'll see what happens on November the 4th.
Thanks so much.
And back to you in studio.
All right, Chuck, thank you so very much. By the way, you can check out all the interviews with the candidates, including Mr. Trott's competition. Just head to WXYZ.com/candidates for everything you need to know before the November election.